Hey guys, Dr. Bailey here. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that happened to me this weekend. I made an appointment with a business coach, a person who has a program that helps you achieve your goals in business. And they specialized in virtualized healthcare, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm virtualizing my functional medicine practice right now. So, that's what biomapping is. Anyway, I make an appointment with this person who's supposed to be able to help me. They have a program to help. And when you do that, there's an intake form. They ask some questions, not very unlike what we do as healthcare providers online. So they asked about 10 questions. Where are you at now? What problems are you having? Where do you want to be? What are your goals? What have you tried? Then they asked about what are your social media handles and things like this. And so I booked the call. I get on the call and I'm talking to this person. And as I'm talking to them, it becomes apparent that my goal, and she did ask this, she said, what are your goals for the call today? And I said, I would love some strategy, some suggestions on what might be able to help me move forward and get better. I'm always trying to get better. And so she was like, okay, great. And as we're moving along in this call, it became apparent that this person was not really interested in giving me any sort of strategic action, anything like that about what I could do to be better. It was more about ticking the boxes on what my problems were and then trying to use those against me in a sales call. So it was not a strategy call as it was advertised. It was more of a sales call. Dog and pony show there. She was very inauthentic. So you're talking with this person and you realize like they have no idea. I put down my Instagram handle, all my stuff, and it became apparent she didn't look at any of the answers that I gave. Could you imagine if you made a phone call with me, you have a thyroid problem, and you'd filled out the intake forms, which I have, which are pretty extensive, and then I get on the phone call with you and you're telling me about your issues, you're talking, I'm there, but I'm not really there. I'm like interested, I'm writing things down, but like it becomes apparent that like I'm not listening to you, that I'm just on the call waiting for my turn to talk and tell you what I want you to hear. So that became very apparent. She didn't look at any of my answers. She didn't look at any of my social media stuff. And so we go through this call, and at the very end, obviously they're going to tell me how much this program costs. 15 grand. So an inauthentic person gets on the call with me on a call that was advertised as something that it's not, and then proceeds to they don't listen to anything I say. Then they proceed to try to sell me on a high ticket program, like a $15,000 program. And they wondered why I didn't sign up. So I get off the phone call with this person, and then lo and behold, I get a message from the owner. And I should actually screenshot and put this in there. It looks like we lost you. Does look, something, you want to reconnect? And I was like, no, don't really want to reconnect, and I'm not interested. He has the gall. He says, oh, great. Thanks for showing us your true colors. We'll take you off our list. I was like, wow. First of all, if you don't get your way, it reminds me of my kids. Like, they don't get their way when they were little, they just pitch a fit and they start crying, right? And this is pretty much the same thing, right? This guy who's supposed to be like a business coach, a self-ownership and like goal setting and like coach, he jumped to, not, there couldn't be a problem. Like, hey, would you mind giving me some feedback on my program? What would have made you sign up? What questions like this that indicate that he's interested in improving? No, he jumped to, oh, it's your fault, right? Like, your fault. You didn't sign up. You obviously must be the problem. Amazing. And I responded, I was like, dude, like, your person got on the phone call with me, didn't do any homework on who I was, and then proceeded to try to sell me on this $15,000 program. She didn't give me any advice on what I could do to move forward. There was nothing in there. It was a sales call. You advertised it as a strategy call, and then I got something completely different. So it just made me reflect a little bit on like the state of virtual functional medicine right now. Everybody's an expert and everybody's got something to sell you. And if you get on the phone call with somebody and they're not, and it's obvious as you're talking to them that like they're just waiting for their turn to talk, or they have not paid attention to anything that you wrote down on your intake form, guys, the red lights should come on. You should be like, this person is only trying to sell me on something. They're not interested in me or getting me better. Okay. Some of you may have appointments with these people this week. Okay. I would suggest to you, be very vigilant. Everyone is an expert these days. And there's so many people out there trying to tell you what to do. I'm proud of the program that we created, and I am the one who gets on the phone with you. There's nobody else, right? There's no salesperson. And so as we're going through this, I'm at least going to give you some things that you can do. If you're not ready to work with us, that's fine. But here's some things you can do today to move forward. If somebody's not willing to do that with you, hit the road, find somebody else, okay? Just a friendly check-in from your neighborhood functional medicine doctor, Dr. Josh Bailey. And yeah, guys, be careful out there. It's wild. So anyways, hope this helps some of you. Hope to talk to you on the phone. Take care.